the New Jersey Jets, where the Jets haven't covered a football game up until this game, and now the Bills are the first team that they allow the Jets to cover. Like, I don't know what to make of this team no more, man. Josh Allen, I'm not sure.
I think you do.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It sounds like you know. And I think maybe it's hard to say for these Bills fans, but I think we know. I think we know exactly what this team is. You know, this is a team that is they started off their season in a win against the Jets, where they only won by 10 points. They squeaked by the Dolphins by only 3 points in week 2. They jumped all over the Rams early, but then nearly had the Rams come back and beat them, right? And they only snuck by them by 3 points. And then they beat a pretty good Raiders team by 7 points. So at this point, they're floating at 4-0. But then they go and they get their asses handed to them by the Titans, and they played a pretty tight game against a very good Chiefs team at home and ended up losing. The thing that I see about this team is that they have not put together a full, complete game yet this year. You know, we're for the Bills, 7 games through, they're 5-2, and they haven't put together a complete game yet. They haven't completely gone out and stomped somebody yet. They haven't looked great on offense and great on defense in the same game yet. I thought the defense played its best game of the season last week, albeit against a very shitty Jets team, but they looked kind of good. If I'm going to, yes, they got ran all over by the Chiefs. I see you shaking your head. No. Yes, they got run all over by the Chiefs, but I think the defense might end up being okay. But looking at Josh Allen's play, he just doesn't seem like the answer. And I don't know that this team puts it together enough at any one point. Like watching the Seahawks play this Monday, watching the Cardinals play, even an ugly Patriots team, I could see absolutely the Bills losing the next 3. And then they run into the Chargers and Justin Herbert. They run into the 49ers, right, who are tough, and then the Steelers. So this is going to be a very telling month and a half for Buffalo coming up. And I think I think this is a team that's good, not great.
Damn, man. Real quick, the Dodgers just scored back-to-back runs. Mookie single or Mookie double, and then they scored on an errant throw, and then they just scored again off of a single. So They're up 2-1 now.
Wow, 2-1
bottom of the 6th. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. This Bills team doesn't look good at all, bro. Like that.
Not even good.
That Jets team that Jets performance was terrible. That was terrible. And I mean, yeah, the defense, they shut them down in the second half. Okay, cool. Good. Congratulations. You should have did that the whole fucking game. It's the Jets. Like the Jets has been literally getting blown out by every team that they played this year. And you guys beat them by 8 points. Like the Jets had a chance to win that game. It's just that they got that team is so terrible. But the fact that, they had a lead going into halftime and I can't score a touchdown against this team. Are you serious? That's ridiculous. And I don't give a fuck about all the yards that they was able to pull up. He was able to move the ball, but the name of the game is score touchdowns and win. You won the game. Congratulations there. The offense did not punch it into the end zone, and the defense, they went to a blitz-heavy scheme against this Jets team. Like, that's awesome and all, but I don't know, man. Like the Tennessee and Chiefs game kind of opened my eyes. Like when you went up against 2 heavyweight competitors, and then you finally get a nice, easy layup against the Jets, and you kind of struggle to win this game. I'm good on them.
Well, I mean, I think you're right in the analysis there. I don't know that I'm ready to completely throw in the towel on them yet. I think the next 6 weeks are going to be very telling. I think, again, they haven't put up more than 17 points in 2020 NFL offense in 3 weeks. So, yeah, they've looked bad on offense. That's the real kicker to me, is that if the defense figures it out, I'm not sure that the offense is there to bail them out, despite the fact that Josh Allen's played well at times. He just didn't look like the answer. He doesn't look like a confident enough pocket passer to win in today's NFL. So,
you know who do look like the answer?
Who?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
and
man.
Baker Mayfield. What a battle, yo. Like that game, so obviously my Ravens didn't play this past. We was on our bye week. And football is just kind of much more enjoyable when you could just watch it at its purest form. Like you don't have any dog in the fight really, unless you betting, which I did have a gamble line and I didn't hit. But I don't know. Like I was tuning in the red zone. I was just tuning into different games, and that game was exciting as shit, man. Like Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield was duking it out, especially after that terrible performance in the first quarter by Baker, where he's like 0 for 5 with an interception, and then he got his receiver done for the season. Sorry, Odell. That's not funny, but Odell Beckham done for the season with a torn ACL. But eventually, man, them dudes like turned it on big and went back and forth with one another, scoring touchdowns, delivering dimes. Like you mentioned it, Baker with a dime to Peoples-Jones for the game. Like that was a hell of a game, man. I really enjoyed that game itself. And yeah, I mean, just I don't know. Like Cleveland, they're 5-2. They lose against elite teams and they win against bad teams, but that could be a danger. It's a weird team, man.
The slowest and longest segue I've ever heard. That was outstanding. The way you moved from that Buffalo team at 5-2. That those are two incredibly similar teams that are wildly inconsistent. One cool note for the Browns. I was kind of looking at some different stats for the first time today, since we're nearing the midpoint of the season now. I was kind of just taking a look where people are at, and shout out to Myles Garrett for leading the league with 9 sacks this year. And
yeah.
You know, it's a team that is certainly very interesting. They've lost Jarvis Landry for the year now, so I'm interested to see how that's going to impact them. Luckily, they are chock full of talent over there, though. And Rashard Higgins, I'll tell you, looks like a game or two. So, Baker, he started off terrible. I saw a lot of fuck you Baker posts on Facebook and other social media. And then I'll tell you, I think there was a stretch where he went like 19 for 19 and brought that team back. It is against the Bengals, but you can't fault him for doing what he did. You know, he went out and did what he was supposed to do. They put 37 points up, and it was a hell of a win for the Browns, to be honest, because that looked like a game that they were not going to win. And that's a game that the old Browns would not have won.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, but yes, absolutely. Shout out to Burrow, 406 yards, who, by the way, while I was looking up some stats, has catapulted himself into the top 5 in passing yards in the NFL this year. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but he currently sits 4th in NFL passing yards. So pretty crazy for Joe Burrow in this Bengals offense.
Joey B, man, he balling. Joey B is balling. It's just that this team is so bad. Hopefully they can. Man, it just kind of sucks that like. I just got a feeling that this Cincinnati team is going to fucking ruin this kid's career. As good as he can be, like I hope not, but I can see it happening because Cincinnati is just such a shitty franchise.
Yeah, but you know what? They've got so his win-loss record might be negatively impacted, but I'll tell you what, you look at that Bengals team on offense, I can see why they put up points, and it's not just him. I mean, you've got A.J. Green as possibly the 3rd best receiver in his current form on that team. That's a team that can score on you in a lot of different ways. If you look, you've got T. Higgins as a rookie who is, really good. T. Higgins, I thought he was going to be more of just a speed guy, kind of just like a guy that was just going to stretch the field a little bit.
Yeah.
But he can kind of do it all. And then looking at players like Tyler Boyd, I think are excellent. They're going to be okay. Gio Bernard, Joe Mixon, those are 2 players on the ground that really can get the ball moving. That offense around Joe Burrow is not bad. It's really fantasy friendly, especially because they're going to be down in games because of that very bad defense. But I don't know. I think Joe Burrow is going to be okay. That we've seen he can be okay. He's already got 2,000 yards passing. He might be all right, man.
They gotta fix the offensive line, man. Like the receivers look good, and you mentioned like you nailed all the points. That offensive line is where it starts, and he's getting killed every game. He's getting killed.
Yeah, he has been sacked 28 times. I think that's also the league most. So
this could be like I'm hoping it's not like this, obviously, but it could be like a David Carr situation. Anytime I see a young quarterback getting just blasted like this, every time he's out on the field. I instantly think David Carr, how they never protected him in Houston. They still haven't learned from their fucking mistakes since they've been in a franchise in this league. The Bengals has just been one of those teams that they just don't understand their ineptitude and they don't fix it. And that's the thing that they got to fix. And I hope that they do for his career's sake, because he's going against, like, you got to play Pittsburgh twice a year. You got to play Baltimore twice a year. And then on top of that, Cleveland got a monster on their side in Myles Garrett, who was just all over his ass all game. Like, you got to play these dudes twice a year, 6 games a year, plus other teams in the NFL as well. Like, your body can only take so many hits. As tough as he is, as good as he is, I like him a lot. I think he's definitely could be an excellent quarterback. They got to fix that offensive line. They got to protect that man. Yeah, and their defense is shitty as shit too.
You're right. You're right. I don't see it being career ruining yet. I mean, obviously with him coming out in the top 5 in passing so far, at least in yards, I don't see it ruining the career. Yeah, the win-loss record is going to look pretty ugly if they don't fix that defense and give them some help on the offensive line. But the team can put up points. They haven't been really dominated by anybody this year. So you're going to see this team in a couple of years.
They have covered. They have covered almost every game besides Baltimore.
Yeah. So if you can go ahead and draft some offensive line and some help on defense, this Bengals team might not be far from turning it around, or at least from being a very good team. Yeah, their trouble, though, is that they're in a very tough division. So you might not see them in the playoffs anytime soon as a result, but that AFC North with Cincinnati looking like they might be on the upswing is probably for my money the best division in football.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know what division is not the best division is what the one we was talking about, the NFC East. Cowboys scored 3 points against the Washington football team.
I don't even know what to say about that. I was watching.
I know what to say. Can I say it real quick?
Yes, please say it.
Yeah, pay Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones stopped playing around. Like, okay, the man fucking broke his ankle, and he's pretty much making more money right now with a broken ankle sitting out than, like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how bad this top of this Cowboys team is. As much talent as they have, and I remember people were saying, like, I remember the argument came up, Dak has no leverage because they signed Andy Dalton to be the backup. And it's like, yeah, now we're kind of seeing that. And no, pay that man, pay him everything. He was that franchise. He was that team.
So just to spit on that NFC East just one last time.
One more time, okay.
Because it's so delicious. After the Eagles and Washington are now on a 1-game win streak, and after the Giants lost last game, the Giants are still, at this point, at 1-6, 1.5 games out of first place in that division. It's absolutely unbelievable.
I've never seen nothing like this, bro.
Neither have I. When I was joking a couple of weeks back that we could have a 5-11 team win the NFC East, and I was joking. But now I think that may be real. I can't believe that none of these teams have emerged as a better team. I mean, I think that you have Washington and the Giants, right? Who I think they are who we thought they were. I don't think they're very good, right? And I think Dallas and the Eagles have obviously had some major injury problems, but the further fun fact is that they just keep beating each other up within the division. They're 1-1, 2-1, 1-1, and 1-2. So they're just beating each other up in the division as well. Nobody's stepping up there either. So I'll be damned if this hasn't turned into a fun division to watch, just to see who's going to emerge from here as the ultimate division winner. So it's entertaining to say the least.
Boy. I'm just so glad I'm not a fan of any of those teams at all. Last 2 games I really wanted to touch on. Pittsburgh, Tennessee, which that kind of lived up to the billing. That kind of lived up to what I expected it to be. Just a tough, hard-nosed, grinded-out type game that, a couple of big plays here and there. Defenses made some awesome plays. Ben Roethlisberger threw 2-3 interceptions. Ryan Tannehill, he was getting hit a lot. And Derrick Henry doing Derrick Henry shit. That was an really good game, man. And it kind of sucks that Tennessee wasn't able to fucking make a field goal. Like the one time I need Tennessee to pull off one of these miraculous comebacks and, win it for me, they can't fucking do it. And it had to be against Pittsburgh. Like, what the fuck, bro? Seriously.
It seems like your luck. You just can't get a break over there in that division. All of a sudden, the Browns are a good football team. Pittsburgh, who I did not expect. I think that the Browns are a good football team this year. They've got enough pieces on offense. Baker can do enough, and that defense isn't terrible either.
I know. Don't buy it, man.
Hey, that's a playoff team. But the Steelers just really well coached, and they're just like a juggernaut this year.
Yeah, the Steelers are good.